What's going on, guys? Today we are going to configure Visual Studio Code for software deployment for different programming language like JavaScript, Python, Java, C Sharp, PHP, and so on. So let's do it. So for that we need to have a Visual Studio Code installed in our system. So open up any browser and download VSCODE. So go to browser and search VSCODE, and then go to that first link that appeared in your search engine, and then depending upon your environment or operating system, whatever you are using, download that corresponding Visual Studio Code version. I'm using Windows, so I'm going to install either you can install either user installer or system installer. I'm going to use system installer 64 x64, not ARM version. It will automatically start downloading. Now run that .exe file that is downloaded in your system. Yes, and accept the agreement, and then click next. Visual Studio Code, next, and by default add to path and register code is an editor for supported file system. That two options are already selected. If you like other option like creating a desktop icon, then you can select that option. I'm not going to do that. And install. After installing, launch, click finish. It will automatically launch VS Code. Now it will ask you a couple of question, or it will ask you to choose the settings. When you install Visual Studio Code for the very first time, you can choose your themes, dark, high contrast, light mode, light modern, dark modern. I'm going to use that one, and it support all our language that you can see, and you can change your settings and sync setting across devices. That means you have to log in through your account and unlock productivity with command palette, and couple of more settings here. And it has a lot of extension, and it also has a built-in terminal, install git, customize your shortcut, and markdown. Now let's configure VS Code for JavaScript development. By default, JavaScript code has IntelliSense for JavaScript. You don't have to install other extension for that, but you can install other packages. Let's search JavaScript here, and you will get a lot of extension here like JavaScript code snippets. Here you can see a lot of JavaScript extension, but by default you don't have to install anything. Let's create one file and run JavaScript in browser, and then later we are going to run JavaScript in server. So let's create one file, save that file. Like hello.js, and you have to remember this location where you save your file. Save that. And in order to use JavaScript in the browser, you also need one HTML file. So here I'm going to use hello.html. Save that. By the way, you can configure Visual Studio from preference and settings, and you can settings a lot of things here like text editors, font size. Here simply you can search font, and there you go, you can increase the font size, but I'm going to use the default one. And in hello.html, I'm going to use skeleton HTML. By typing HTML, and it will show you a three option. Here I HTML, and choose HTML5 like this. And here inside body, I'm going to use one button. Button type is equal to submit, and here on click event of button, what I'm going to show you is I'm going to execute one function that is defined in hello.js. So here alert function, and you have to use parenthesis here, and here function hello from JavaScript, and go back to here. We need to link our HTML file with the JavaScript. So src script src is equal to hello.js. Now save that. Now open up any browser and go to your drive where you save that file, and then there you can see there is one button here. When I click that button, it says hello from JS. Now other way to execute, you can also use a built-in function here, like alert is a built-in function, and again it says hello from JavaScript. Now you can also run JavaScript in browser. So right click, inspect, and go to here console, here alert, and then you can type message include string hello from JavaScript. It will display hello from JavaScript. Now console.log hello from JavaScript. It will display in a console. You can also write prompt enter your name, and then it will display in the console. In this way you can use JavaScript and run JavaScript from Visual Studio Code. Now in order to run a JavaScript in server, what you have to do is you need to have a JavaScript runtime. So for that we are going to install Node. So search Node in your browsing software and go to Node, and then download the LTS version, that is long-term support. Click that download and it will download your Node. Now run that downloaded file, click next, accept, next, 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 finish. Yes. Now click finish. Now in order to check whether Node is installed on your system or not, open up command and type Node. It will display your Node version. Now after installing Node, what you have to do is you have to relaunch your VSCODE. So close that and VSCODE, reload it, and then new file, save that file, node.js hello.js, and here type console.log node.js, save that file and go to terminal, new terminal, and we need to move to our location where you save your files. Then there you can see hello.js from node.js. You simply need to type node. In this way you can execute your code in Visual Studio, so that you don't have to execute your code in browser, that is browsing side JavaScript, and this is server side JavaScript. Now let's configure our VS Code for HTML CSS. So for that you can search extension from here. You can install extension from here, HTML CSS and IntelliSense for HTML CSS, HTML boilerplate. All these extensions are available for you to use your development, that is front end development. In this way you can configure your Visual Studio Code for HTML, CSS and JavaScript. So that's all about configuring VS Code, especially for JavaScript and HTML and CSS. Let's configure VS Code for Python. So we have to install Python. Go to any browser and search Python and go to python.org and go to download, and this is the latest version of Python. So download Python 3.12.2. Depending upon your system, you can choose Linux or Macs or whatever operating system you are using. Save that. It will take some time depending upon your internet speed. Now after finishing download, open that installer and then click on install now or customize installation. And here there is two options: use admin privilege when installing py.exe and add python.exe to path, so that you don't need to go to environment variable and edit that environment variable. And I'm going to show you edit environment variable and path edit. You don't have to do all that here. Already give that option here, add python.exe to path. So install. And setup was successful. Close. Now to check whether Python is installed in our system or not, go to command and then type python and Python. There you can see Python 3.1.2 is installed. And here hello world. There you go. Let's install VS Code also. So open up any browser and download VS Code. So go to browser and search VS Code, and then go to that first link that appear in your search engine, and then depending upon your environment or operating system, whatever you are using, download that corresponding Visual Studio Code version. I'm using Windows, so I'm going to install either you can install either user installer or system installer. I'm going to use system installer 64 x64, not ARM version. It will automatically start downloading. Now run that .exe file that is downloaded in your system. Yes, and accept the agreement, and then click next. Visual Studio Code, next, and by default add to path and register code is an editor for supported file system. That two options are already selected. If you like other option like creating a desktop icon, then you can select that option. I'm not going to do that. And install. After installing, launch, click finish. It will automatically launch VS Code. Now it will ask you a couple of question, or it will ask you to choose the settings. When you install Visual Studio Code for the very first time, you can choose air themes, dark high contrast, light mode, light modern, dark modern. I'm going to use that one, and it support all our language. There you can see, and you can change your settings and sync setting across devices. That means you have to log in through your account and unlock productivity with command palette, and couple of more settings here. And it has a lot of extension, and it also has a built-in terminal, install git, customize your shortcut, and markdown. Now what you need to do is you need to search extension after installing Python in your system. So go to extension section and search Python here, and download that extension python debugger Python indentation and whatever you like. It's saying either, I don't know why, but we install these two. Now simply go and create one file like text file and save that hello.py and print hello from Python. Save that. Now go to terminal and simply you can run that from here also. Here you can see hello from Python. So in this way you can configure Visual Studio Code for Python for software development, and you can either write Python script for your project or use Python for GUI development also. You have to use tkinter for that. Stay connected with this channel because we are going to create Python tutorials and Python course for you guys. Now let's configure VS Code for Java development. First of all, you have to have VS Code in your system, so download it, and after that you have to have a JDK in your system, so download it and install it. So let's install the latest version of JDK on our system. The latest version of JDK is JDK 21, that is a Java development kit. If you know why we need JDK in our system, then you can skip the further part. But if you don't know what is JDK and why we need JDK in our system, then you have to continue watching it. I have one image here, and what is JDK? JDK means Java Development Kit, and in that Java Development Kit we have, first of all, we have a Java source code. In order to run that Java source code, we need a compiler here, compiler, and then that compiler translate your Java code into Java bytecode, and after that the Java bytecode is verified by the Java code verifier or class loader, that is the part of JRE, and then bytecode verifier. After that bytecode verifier, that code is sent to the Java interpreter and JIT compiler, that is just-in-time compiler. After the Java interpreter, our code or our machine code is sent to the operating system. That's why the Java is independent of operating system, because our source code is translated to Java bytecode, and that Java bytecode can run on any system if you have JRE installed in your system. So JDK is the combination of compiler and the JRE, that is JRE means that verifier are Java bytecode, and JVM means Java virtual machine that interpret our Java bytecode to machine code. That's why we need a Java development kit in our system in order to run our Java code. So let's install JDK in our system. Now open up any browser and search JDK, then Oracle website will display, and click that link, and there you can see JDK 21, JDK 17. JDK 21 is the latest one. So after that, selecting JDK 21, you have to choose your operating system or your environment, and your environment is Linux, Mac OS or Windows. I am using Windows here, so download that 64 installer and save your file. It will take some time. After downloading, open that and then run your application. Then click next, and then click close. JDK is installed on our system successfully. Now what you need to do is you need to add the Java in your environment variable. So for that, first of all, go to your C drive, and then there go to program files and Java JDK 21 and bin, and simply copy that location. Now we need to provide that recently copied path to our environment variable path. So go to environment variable, and select our path, and then click edit, and then new, and simply paste, and then click OK. Here you can also give user variable for a specific user, and this is the system variable. You can also run the Java in specific user only. So for that, here you can click new, and then Java underscore home, and paste that variable. Okay, you can do also like that for the specific user. and then this is the system variable. Click OK. You are now good to go. To check whether Java install in your system or not, go to command and then type Java. There you can see Java is installed in our system. Otherwise, it will display Java is not a recognized internal or external command. So there you go. JDK is installed in our system successfully. You can also check the version, Java data version. There you can see 21.02. This is our latest Java version. Now install VSCODE also. So open up any browser and search VSCODE, and then go to that first link that appear in your search engine, and then depending upon your environment or operating system, whatever you are using, download that corresponding Visual Studio Code version. I'm using Windows, so I'm going to install either you can install either user installer or system installer. I'm going to use system installer 64 x64, not ARM version. It will automatically start downloading. Now run that .exe file that is downloaded in your system. Yes, and accept the agreement, and then click next. Visual Studio Code, next, and by default add to path and register code as an editor for supported file system. That two options are already selected. If you like other option like creating a desktop icon, then you can select that option. I'm not going to do that. And install. After installing, launch, click finish. It will automatically launch VS Code. Now it will ask you a couple of question, or it will ask you to choose the settings. When you install Visual Studio Code for the very first time, you can choose your themes, dark, high contrast, light mode, light modern, dark modern. I'm going to use that one, and it support all our language. There you can see, and you can change your settings and sync setting across devices. That means you have to log in through your account and unlock productivity with command palette, and couple of more settings here. And it has a lot of extension, and it also has a built-in terminal, install gate, customize your shortcut, and markdown. After installing JDK and VS Code, so what you have to do is go to your extension section and search Java and install all these packages: debugger for Java, tester runner for Java, Maven for Java, project manager for Java, and so on. These are the important extension for Java. It is showing error, I don't know why, but we are reloading VS Code again after installing all these extension. All extensions are installed, so let's reload our VS Code. Close and open again, and go to extension section. Here you can see we install a couple of extension here. There you go. Now what you can do is simply press Ctrl Shift and P and search Java. You can create a Java project from here in this way. Let's create Java project and select no build tool, and here I'm going to create one folder Java and select that project location and give file name also hello, and it will run your VS Code, and here leave source, and there you can see app.java, and you can simply run your from here Java file from there, and there you can see hello Java world. Or what you can do is simply create new file and save that file. I'm going to save that file here, outside that Java, and I'm going to create hello.java file here, and it will automatically pop up this class hello Java, because you need to have a same file name and a same class name in Java, that is the Java rule. And here, now after selecting class, go to inside the class and simply type main. It will automatically give our main file, and here system dot out dot println, and here you can display hello from Java, and here you can see that is run and debug. Simply save your file and click that run. It will automatically run your file, and it says hello from Java. By the way, this is not our current file, so what I have to do is go to one level of cd dot dot, because our Java file is in G drive. Here you can see hello.java. Now Java hello.java. Here you can see hello from Java. So in this way, you can configure VS Code for Java development, and you can create your project or software using VS Code using your Java programming language. So simply what we have to do is Control Shift and P, and then search Java, and then click on that create Java project, and from here you can select no build tools or Maven, Gradle, Spring Boot, and variety of tools for you, and select their tools, and you are ready to go. Now let's configure VS Code for C# development. If you are really into Microsoft technology, you should use Visual Studio rather than Visual Studio Code, because Visual Studio is a full-fledged IDE that you can get a lot of features. Though if you are not going to use Visual Studio, you can use Visual Studio Code for your C# development. So let's do it. First of all, you need to have a VS Code, and then you need to have .NET in your system, and you need to have some extension in your Visual Studio Code. So open up any browser and search .NET, or if you need a specific one, search csap.net in VS Code. Then there will clearly say what you need. Then it says necessary tools: Visual Studio Code, C# Dev Kit extension, and for .NET developer, the .NET SDK. And here also you scroll down, and there you can see install .NET coding package for student. If you are a student, then you can directly install the .NET coding package for Windows and Mac OS. And after installing that, you don't need to do anything, because it already clearly say here, if you are a student, we recommend installing the .NET coding package for easier setup experience. But what we are going to do is we are going to install .NET SDK, and then click download, and then click .NET SDK x64, and it will download your .NET SDK. That is the latest one, and it is a long-term support version, and it will support it till 2026, I think so. And you need also Visual Studio, as explained in this article. Visual Studio also, so download Visual Studio Code also. Not Visual Studio, but Visual Studio Code. They are totally two different IDE. Download for window, click download. Visual Studio is an IDE, completely full package IDE, but Visual Studio Code is text editing software. You have to install extension in order to work with different programming language. Now after downloading it, open .NET SDK 8.01, install, yes, and it will install .NET SDK. .NET SDK and .NET Framework are two different things also. You have to understand this. But if you are new to Microsoft technology, then you need to use, or you should use .NET instead of .NET Framework, because this is a new technology. .NET Framework is only work on Windows platform. But .NET SDK or simply .NET or .NET Core is cross-platform. That is, it can work with Mac OS, Linux, and Windows also. Install successfully. Close. Now we need to install Visual Studio Code. So install that also. Click next, next, next. We don't need to create a desktop icon, but you can add to path. It says shell restart. Click next, install. Launch VSCODE. Now here you will ask for a couple of things. You can choose your um, theme here, whatever theme you like: dark modern, light high contrast, and dark high contrast. I am going to use the dark mode only. And reach support for language. You can use a couple of language here. You can see tune your setting. You can change your setting also. Sync setting across your device after you logging in into your account. And here you will see your explorer. Was next section. Also next section, code extension. You can get code extension. Built-in terminal. You can get a built-in terminal. Install Git. Customize your shortcut also. Markdown. Now expand that. Go to extension here and search C# and you need to install C# and C# dev kit. Install. Now after installing C# dev kit, what you have to do is simply press Ctrl Shift and P. There you can find .NET new project. Simply click that and it will start downloading Razor telemetry package, because Razor is related to ASP.NET Core. Now here you can see variety of application templates is displayed here, like ASP.NET Core empty, ASP.NET Web API, ASP.NET Web Application. What we are going to do is we are going to choose console application. Select that and it will ask for your project name. Before that, it is downloading .NET service because console application is desktop related and ASP.NET Core is web related, so it also need to download some packages. Now you can see here is the default name is appear. We are going to choose that. Simply enter and you can choose the directory here. I'm going to choose another directory here and simply choose that, and it will create our console application here. And again, if you are going to use a Microsoft technology, then it's better to use Visual Studio rather than this Visual Studio Code, because it is only text editing software and you need to install extension for your usage. Now after choosing console application name and directory, the Visual Studio Code will automatically open your project, and if it is not opening, what you need to do is go to Explorer here and go to Solution Explorer, and there you can see there is our console application, and go to program.cs and here console.writeline hello world from C#. Save that and run that, and there you can see hello world from C#. So in this way you can configure Visual Studio Code for your C# development. And again, if you are using Microsoft technology, it's better to use Visual Studio over Visual Studio Codes. If you like this video, share this video with your friends and stay connected with this channel. So for that, you need to subscribe this channel, because we are going to create a lot of tutorials regarding Windows Form application using C# and C# course also. So definitely subscribe this channel. Now let's configure Visual Studio Code for PHP. Now you know that PHP is server side programming language. That means PHP can only be run by server, but in the local computer, how can you run that? So in local computer, what you can do is you can download one server application, that is WAMP server, and install that, and we are going to execute our PHP code from that WAMP server. So let's install WAMP server, and then again Visual Studio is mandatory. So let's do it. Open up any browser and search WAMP server. It will not work in Mac OS or other operating system, you have to use a XAMPP server, XAMPP, and these two are kind of similar. I'm using WAM, and actually I like WAM server better than XAMPP server. So go to wamserver.com and there download that and go to download, and 32-bit or 64-bit. I'm going to use 64-bit, and here you can click you can download it directly. Click that link and it will start downloading WAM server. Now save that WAM server, and it will take some time to download it depending upon your internet speed. After completing download, open that .exe file from your downloaded folder. Select your language, English. I accept the agreement. Click next, and where you want to set up your WAM server, WAM 64, and then click next. Yes, you can select your default browser or click cancel. Do you want to choose another text editor install in your system? No. And then click next, click finish. Now, in order to run PHP code in WAM server, what you need to do is, first of all, you have to run the WAM server. Go to start and search your WAM server and run it. It says service started, ready, all service running. Now in your system tray, there you can see if it is green, then all service are running. If it is red or orange color, then all service are not running. You have to restart your WAM server. Our server is running successfully. Now install VSCODE also. So open up any browser and search VSCODE, and then go to that first link that appear in your search engine, and then depending upon your environment or operating system, whatever you are using, download that corresponding Visual Studio Code version. I'm using Windows, so I'm going to install either you can install either user installer or system installer. I'm going to use system installer 64 x64, not ARM version. It will automatically start downloading. Now run that .exe file that is downloaded in your system. Yes, and accept the agreement, and then click next. Visual Studio Code, next, and by default add to path and register code is an editor for supported file system. That two options are already selected. If you like other option like creating a desktop icon, then you can select that option. I'm not going to do that, and install. After installing, launch, click finish. It will automatically launch VS Code. Now it will ask you a couple of question, or it will ask you to choose the settings. When you install Visual Studio Code for the very first time, you can choose air themes, dark, high contrast, light mode, light modern, dark modern. I'm going to use that one, and it support all our language that you can see, and you can change your settings and sync setting across devices. That means you have to log in through your account and unlock productivity with command palette, and couple of more settings here. And it has a lot of extension, and it also has a built-in terminal install Git, customize your shortcut, and mark done. Open up Visual Studio and go to extension and search PSP here. We need to install some IntelliSense for PSP here, PSP debug, PSP. You can install lots of extensions from here that are popular. I'm installing a couple of extensions here. Now, after installing all extension, let's reload our VSCODE and also check our server. And let's check server also. Here it is not turning green, it only orange. One service is running and rest are not running because we need to have all service running. So for that we need to check whether what is the problem in our system. Maybe the IIS is running, so open that IIS and it is definitely running it, so stop that. That is the Microsoft IIS information internet information service for running ASP.NET codes. Now let's restart WAM server. Now it is green, that means all services are running. So what you have to do is, first of all, create new file, Ctrl+N, and save that file. Where do you save that file? Here is the trick part. You have to go to C, and where is save, go to 164, and then you need to save inside www folder, and here hello.php, save that. Now it is displaying error. We can ignore that, and here inside hello.php, let's write some PHP code here, PHP, and close, and here echo hello from PHP from VSCODE. Simply save that. And what we need to do is go to browser, and here localhost / hello.php. There you can see hello from PHP from VSCODE. So in this way you can configure VSCODE for PHP development. Here we are using WAM server, that means it is PHP, Apache, MySQL, and Windows. That means we can also create a database in MySQL. So go to localhost first, and here it is showing this WAM server, and what you can do is you can go to PHP myadmin. Now here login, the default username is root and password is empty. Simply click login, and from here you can create database like login database, login PHP, and then click create, and table name is login, and number of call is equal to 2. Create like username, and data type is varchar, and you should enter the length also. Password, data type is varchar, and then length is 50, and then click save. And in order to insert some data, go to insert, and here admin, simply click go, and choose your table. There you can see the inserted value also. So in this way you can configure Visual Studio Code for the PHP development, and you can use WAM server for the MySQL database, and to execute the PHP code in your local machine. So that's it. That's all about the configuration of Visual Studio Code for different programming language, guys. And definitely stay connected with us, and definitely subscribe this channel, because we are going to create a lot of tutorials for you guys of different programming language like PHP, ASP.NET, C#.NET, Java, JavaScript, and Python. Thank you for watching this video. Share this video with your friends so that they can configure their Visual Studio Code also, and give thumbs up, which really motivates us to create tutorials for you guys. And have a good day. Bye bye.